Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview, July 1st, 2015, as we start our new quarter of the year, and we have earnings seasons coming in about 10 days. I'll start doing earnings. Wow, what an exciting time of year it is, starting on the 1st of July. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, in this segment, we're going to look at 6 currency pairs, go over some news and some commentary, and hopefully give you an idea what is going to happen in the markets today. All right, traders, if you would just give me a second here, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilda. I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a wonderful 27-year career in the fire rescue department out of the great state of Florida. Traders, came to Thailand 9 days later for a 3-month holiday to celebrate my 27-year career. Well, it's 2015, and guess where I'm sitting? Yep, still in Thailand. Absolutely having a great time. Love trading the Forex markets. I trade it every day. I listen to fundamentals. I listen to everything. I listen to, sometimes I have to admit, sometimes I even listen to those, what do we call them? People on the financial channels. I'm being polite. So anyhow, it's really an exciting time of year right now because we're in the summer months. And of course, we know that the big money is in Martha's Vineyard on vacation, but the markets are pretty crazy, as we'll get into that during the commentary. Let's get rid of this risk disclaimer, which is the legal stuff, and that is that Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let's head over to news and commentary. This is what happened in the indices at the close of New York. The US 30 closed up 0.13%. The S&P 500 closed at 0.27% in the green, and the Nasdaq in the green at 0.57%, and the Russell 2000 in the green at 0.46%. So all the indices that make a difference out of the US were in the green. Let's go over to the Eurozone. Looks like a disaster to me. I see a lot of red numbers here. The DAX closed negative 1.25%. The FTSE 100 closed negative 1.50%. The CAC 40 closed negative 1.63%. The Eurostoxx 50 closed negative 1.29%. Gee, you think Greece has something to do with that? Absolutely. We're going to get into that in just a minute. These countries are currently trading, and that is in Asia. And the Nikkei 225 is up 0.27%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is positive 0.68%. And the Shanghai is down negative 0.30%. And the Hang Seng must be on a holiday today because I see that they are closed. But they closed positive yesterday at 1.09%. And the Kospi out of Seoul is positive 0.78%. So that's what's going on in the indices. Not a good day for the Eurozone. Let's take a look at the economic calendar. We had some data come out in Asia today. Nothing that moved the mark. We had China had some manufacturing PMI. The Aussie had building approvals that came out as a good number, but moved, I think, maybe like 12 pips. Then we had HSBC final manufacturing out of China, and the Aussie did move like 15 pips, but I think it's retracing now back down to where it started. So not a lot going on there. Remember, traders, we have a short trading week as far as New York goes this week because they're doing NFP on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So it wouldn't surprise me once we get to London lunch or the first hour or two of the New York session that we see a slowdown, as is typically what happens when we get a NFP number early in the week, or even when it comes out on its normal Friday. All right, so we have in the Euro London session, we have Great British Pound has manufacturing PMI, high impact. Also, BOE Governor Carney speaks. And then they have a Eurogroup meeting today, all day. So there's really not a lot there, except the problem there is we're going to get what I call the wobbleheads get in front of microphones, and they're going to start talking, and it's going to really ruin our trading. So the point of that is, get 15 pips in profit, get to break even, plus whatever your spread is in one. But make sure you get break even because they make one comment, and the comments are going to fly today, my friends. Greece did not make its payment to the IMF. IMF chief Lagarde is absolutely furious. I read an article in today's Bangkok Post. She is not a happy camper. They owe the ECB a huge payment in the middle of July. Really getting kind of crazy. The CAD is on a bank holiday today. High impact data in the New York session. We have ADP non-farm employment change, and we have ISM manufacturing PMI today. High impact, which usually does move the markets. Looking to tomorrow in the Asia session, we do have the Aussie has its trade balance. So feel free to join me in the live trading room. And you can access that live trading room at fxinstructor.com. And it's free, and come and join me. We start at 0100 GMT. So that's what's going on as far as indices and basically what's happening for Wednesday. There's quite a lot happening. I'll be honest with you. There's quite a lot happening. And out of everything that's happening, the biggest thing that, is concerned is that Eurogroup meeting, because that means they're going to be jumping out on that microphone all day today and just ruining our trading day again. Commentary is, of course, Greece's the headline, but it's really funny. Since Monday, I'm a newspaper reader. I love reading the newspaper, and there's a great website. It's called Drudge DRUDGE.com, and they've got like every newspaper in the world on that website, and it's free. It's pretty amazing. But I was reading the Bangkok Post today, which I get delivered every day, and like Greece is on like page 20. It's like nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares except the Eurozone and the rest of the financial markets. Commentary is that Greece is only 2% of the European economy. So what I'm getting is that like people are getting to the point like they don't care if they leave or they stay, and they've given them several opportunities to make good on their situation, and this prime minister, I think he needs to take more medication, and do what's right for his people. Their banks are closed till Monday. Can you imagine? You can only take €60 a day out of an ATM machine. Can you imagine being on holiday over there and you can only get €60? I mean, it's just horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I feel so bad for the people who live in Greece because they got a prime minister that's really whacked out, in my opinion. It's just they're just not thinking. They're just out there, And yeah, that's enough of that. Enough commentary for today. Let's get over to. I like to look at the 60-minute Forex charts, and let's see. We've got some trade plans for you today. And as usual, we will start with the euro dollar. Traders, all I want to do with euro is what? Sell it. So I want to see this pullback at the London Open back to that daily pivot point at 1.1167. And we want to take it down to S2, the daily pivot of S2 at 1.1029. And that would make me very happy. That'd be a beautiful trade. If it just comes down to the bottom of the fib, that's fine too. That's a lot of pips. Either way, we have some pretty nice trading on the euro today. The problem is the comments that are going to fly from this Eurogroup meeting, and our good friend Angela Merkel will be, I'm sure, one of the top ones to get on a microphone today. All right, let's take a look at the pound dollar. This is, my friends, so ugly, this chart. Look at left of the current price. This is horrible. I'm not looking to even trade this today. Look at left of the chart. Even if we get the pullback, which the pound doesn't like to give us, even if we get the pullback to 57.10, we're only taking this down to 56.80, right? So we're only looking at a 30 pip trade and a lot of junk left of the chart. So I gave you a trade plan and I gave you an entry and an exit, but I'll tell you, to be honest with you, there's plenty of other currency pairs to trade, and this one is not going to be on my priority list to take a look at. And it's done so well in the last month. It's just traded nice and bullish. It traded so nice. And now we're in this down move here. It's not in a change of trend if you look at a daily chart. It's got a couple of down, several down days. I don't know, 3 or 4. And so it's not that it's changed its trend or, we're not bearish on the pound dollar, okay? We're still bullish on the pound dollar. And I think a lot is concerned over what's going on, with that famous word, Greece. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie dollar had an up day yesterday, but not a lot of movement. Look at how it's come to that 200 exponential moving average, and you can see it's just wobbling around there. So I want to break below this trend line. This is a valid trend line. This is a three-touch trend line. So it's a valid trend line, and we want to sell it at about 0.7678. We'll take profit at the daily S2 at 0.7627. That would be a nice trade if it works. Look left of the chart. Not a lot to worry about. We're going to get a bounce there, that 76.65 area, 60 area. You can see that we got some reaction to that price level. So we're going to get a bounce there, but you're going to be break even by then, so nothing to worry about. And but if this trade works, this is a great trade, and this can work out really well. But again, what is the Aussie dollar? It's a commodity pair. And when one of them get in front of a microphone, it can really change this pair's direction. Let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. Nice downtrend this week to the downside. This is really in a good spot to take to the, to sell this, but this needs to pull back. I mean, I couldn't put a fib on here because I didn't have 2 candles to the right and 2 candles to the left on the downside. So I couldn't put a fib on this. So I just went to the mean line, which is that red dotted line there. And that is resistance. And so that's at 1.4484. And we'll take that down to 43.38. Really a nice trade if it works. Hope we get the pullback. And at London Open, you have to decide if you're going to wait for the pullback or you're just going to enter the trade and go short. If you do that, that's fine because you got plenty of pips to work with. This is a big trade, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, this is over 100 pip trade here. So is it going to happen all in one day? Probably not. But we have plenty of room to work with, and we can enter this at several times, several opportunities to enter this trade throughout the trading day. I don't want to see it go back up to the 200 exponential moving average, though, because we won't get the trade that we want. It'll be too many hours into the trading day. And I'm telling you, come New York or London lunch, the markets are going to really slow down because we have NFP 1 day early tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Yen. This is my pair of the day. I think this is like my pair that I think is just going to work out really great. This is just below the daily pivot point. It's really a place where you can enter this. I mean, there's no reason you can't enter this now. You don't have to wait for London Open. You're going to put your stop right above that daily pivot. And we're going to take this down to 134.89, which again is the daily S2 pivot. And we'll just take this down. You can see at the yellow line that is support. So we're going to get a bounce there. So you want to make sure you break even there. And but this looks like a really nice trade down to the daily S2. And I think this is a really good trade today. I think this is worth looking at throughout the trading day. I'm not going to enter till London, because I want to see what happens. And not that I want to see what happens with the Euro Yen. I want to see what happens with the fundamentals today and see what is said. I am really expecting IMF chief Lagarde to hit the airwaves, and I can't wait to hear her speak. Because when I heard her speak 2 weeks ago, she was really angry with Greece. So it's going to be very interesting. And for our last pair of the day, which is another pair that has traded very well for us in the last 2 weeks, and that is the New Zealand dollar. Traders, I just want to sell this. It's at the daily pivot point. The problem is it has spiked the daily pivot point. So I don't want to take this and sell this until we get below it. And I apologize for the slide. I see the slide is like off center there, and I don't know what that price level is. But the important point of this chart is the daily pivot, and we want to take this to the downside. The negative of this trade is that it's not a lot of pips. I think there's like 28 pip trade here, so this is not a lot of pips here. So you know what? If it does go above the daily pivot, at least go to all one, and we can sell it from there. So when we get back to the daily pivot, we're safe as far as it bouncing from that point. And that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, please come and visit our website at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. It's a great site, nice economic calendar, really great site, a lot of opportunities, a lot of education. Go check it out. I think you'll have a good time. Traders, until next time, which will be tomorrow, we'll see you before the London Open. Take care, traders, and have a great day. And by the way, I know you want to know what the weather is in Thailand. Bright blue sunny skies and white sandy beaches and very hot. Traders, take care. Bye-bye.